It's the grandson of Right Thought. Welcome to the School of Marvelous Light. You know how I talk about the Cinderella shoe launcher and how it only lands on Cinderella's feet? I'm going to show y'all something right now. Say, for instance, I drop a video and I'm talking about white people. And I'm saying the judgments on white people and what white people have done and white people this and white people that. Let's say that's the case. There is no such thing as white people. If there were, don't you think there would be white people written in the Bible? All Christians and everybody who says they believe the Bible and everything, don't you think God is smarter than you are, human beings? So don't you think he would have put white people in the Bible? He would have put black people in the Bible, as that's what they're called? Don't you think he would have did that? So then that means that's something that man came up with. Correct? White and black. Correct? All right then. So now, if I say something and I shoot the Cinderella launcher and it hit you, but yet I said white people when I said it, then you're proving that you subscribe to the title of white person. Correct? So then that would mean that you subscribe that you are a fucking lie. Because if somebody, you even, shoot some Cinderella slippers at a black person, I don't feel a damn thing. Interesting, huh? And you know why? Because I am not black, nor do I subscribe to being black. I am not a lie, nor would I ever allow myself to be called by one. So now if somebody was to shoot the Cinderella slippers like I do at black people, then only people who take on that title of a lie of being called black, right? Because we all agree right now. See, this is the thing. Anybody listening to me right now, you do agree with me, right? That white and black is made up. Okay, then. So we can continue our conversation without you exiting the building, right? Okay. Anybody who gets offended means that you think you is white. If I say something hurtful about white people, correct? So then you're proving that you're living a lie, like I told you. Now, what are you going to do about that today? You ain't going to do a damn thing about it if you wicked. So anybody who walks away today and don't do anything about it is a fucking wicked ass nigga. See? That's how this goes. That's why I told y'all I was a trapstick. I don't know why y'all come over here to listen to me if you ain't righteous. I don't know what you coming to hear. Because if you aren't, you're going to get hung upside down in a snare fucking around with me. Like a lot of you is right now. Because you can't leave because you got to admit what I'm telling your ass is the truth. If you say you righteous, you can't leave. You got to keep your ass right here and take this heat I'm about to give you. Okay? There's no such thing as white people. Now, let's see what happened in the Bible. Psalm 83. Y'all read it. Matter of fact, we're going to slow down real quick, and I'm going to read it along with y'all. Just so we make sure ain't no games going here, and nobody can escape these words that are about to come out, because they're coming right off the same page you looking at. Psalm 83. All right. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. What is Asaph asking of the Most High here? He's actually asking the Most High to take his peace away. To not be just sitting there doing nothing anymore. That's what he's saying. Why are you saying this, Asaph? Why did you write this song? He's going to tell you why. Verse 2. For, or in other words, this is why. Look, thine enemies make a tumult. God, look at your enemies. God has enemies. Y'all see that, people? All so-called believers of the Bible, do you see it, that God has enemies? Let's see who they are. And they that hate thee, so the enemies of God hate God? Is that what we're reading here? Now, would you guys say God is a God of truth or God is a God of lies? What would you guys say that are listening to me? So then if he's a God of truth, then that means that if you say you serve that God, then you must live in truth, correct? So remember how I said if you subscribe to a false image, which is saying I am something and it's not true, then you're not actually serving the true God. You actually hate God and you're an enemy of truth. You're actually living as an enemy of God, you see? Let's continue. They have lifted up the head, and they have taken crafty counsel against your people. So God has a people on the earth, and there are some other people on the earth who hate God and hate God's people, and have taken counsel on how they will destroy God's people. Let's see how they decided to destroy. They have said, let's see, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. Do you hear that, my so-called black brothers and sisters that are not black? You're Israelites, and we're going to prove it. Your enemies said against you, which obviously are God's people, let us change their heritage around. Is that not what you just heard? Let's cut them off from being a nation. That the name of who? Of Israel may be what? No more in what? Remembrance. They won't even remember that they were called Israel. So let's see here. Who benefits in this world we live in and who suffers? The so-called black people are suffering greatly in this so-called world, and the so-called whites benefit or have what they call white privilege in this world. Do they not? Okay, now how did they gain that? Well, according to this Bible here I'm reading, and you're reading too if you're brave, not hiding from God's truth, somebody consulted against the so-called black people in this world to change their name and their heritage and call them by a name so that their true name, which is Israel, won't be in remembrance anymore. Is that clear for all the hearers? So the beneficiary of this world obviously is one of the enemies and haters of God. That would be the so-called, what you call the whites. You call them that. I don't call them that. You do. I'm using the words that you came up with. This ain't my language, nigga. I'm using your language. These were the words you decided to call yourself and to call me. And you get mad when I tell you don't call me that. Call me by my true name, which is Israel. You get confounded and confused by that. Why? Because it's been removed out of remembrance. I'm going to help your ass remember today. What did they do? Verse 5. For they have consulted together. So there are many enemies here that have consulted together with one consent. You hear that? One consent. They are confederate against thee. Against who? God. So some nations on the earth, see how there are some guilty parties here, came together and they all decided this. See? You see? So let's just see here. They all decided to call themselves by misnomers so that they can fool you. Also calling you a misnomer. Isn't that obvious? This is a nice little so-called trick they tried to pull and deceive. You see? Which is why they'd be like, no, grandson, don't talk, grandson. Please go away. Please don't call us out. Please. Whack-a-mole on your dumb ass. I have all the energy to play this game. Okay? Well, I can play all day until there ain't no fucking moles coming up no more. Because if you pop your fucking head up, guess what? Ding! You got stars and birds going around your head. Now your ass is looking like you about to be dead. All right? That's what's going to happen to your stupid ass. So let's see. Verse 6. Let's see the first guilty party here. The tabernacles of Edom. Oh my goodness gracious. This damn guy here. He just keeps getting his fucking hands dirty, doesn't he? So God, you notice he uses their true name. He's not using names that you guys even know about today. So you notice that? So then how can you hold the guilty party guilty if you don't know who they are? Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. See how I'm unraveling this shit with great clarity on these whole ass niggas? So the tabernacles of Edom, Rome. So the European, that's what this means here. He's guilty of coming and taking crafty counsel against God's people. Who else? The Ishmaelites. Oh my God, the whole Arab world. So Iraqi, Syria, Saudi Arabia, those are all misnomers, man. They just fooling your ass. That's Ishmael. That's your cousin, Negro. That's your cousin. You see? And they hate you too. Let's prove this. I live in a city, Detroit, has a river going through it called the Detroit River. There was a movie made in Detroit, a true story about how a Negro man had fallen in love with an Arab girl. She was Chaldean. He fell in love with her and she fell in love with him and they got together. Well, her brothers didn't like that shit. So what they did is they found that so-called Negro man and they killed him. This happened in like 2000 or something like that. They killed him and tossed his body into the Detroit River. I know a woman today, matter of fact, that works at a store with Arab men who poisoned a Negro man because he also fell in love with an Arab girl who fell in love with him. And they were together. And they invited him over to a party and poisoned him. And I see that man all the time. And he's out of his mind to this day. So guilty as charged, Arabs. You're lying about your title. See? It's not just Edomites, guys. Not just the so-called white people. It's a gang of nations. Let's continue. But before we continue, why do you think Abba Yah says, I will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and there will I plead with them for my people? So what is he saying? I'm going to ask them to stop fucking lying to you. Tell my people the truth. And so since they won't, then I'm going to judge them in the valley of Jehoshaphat. And they're going to kill each other. Stupid bastards. You all came against my people. Well, then now you're all going to kill yourselves. That's what it's saying. Let's continue. Edom, Ishmael. So we know who those are. Europeans and Arabs. Moab and the Hagarenes. So that would be China and all the other Asian nations that are located over there near China. Oh my goodness. Y'all are guilty of doing this too. So y'all are not really called China. Y'all are called Moab, according to the Bible. See how we just got to rip the lid off of y'all shit? So you see who else is guilty here of claiming a fake name. That's what we're talking about here. Why aren't these people called this today? If the Bible is true and every man is a liar, according to the Bible, then how come we don't use these same names? I'm reading why right now. Crafty counsel is why. Gabal and Ammon, Japanese. And Amalek, same damn Canaanites. Fake Jewish. See? See, when you ish, that means like. Like if I was describing a shirt, and it really wasn't orange, it was kind of an orange color, I would say orangish. Grab me that orangish shirt and you would know exactly what I'm talking about. You see? So, if that's so easily understood with something like that, then how the hell y'all can't understand it when somebody, you don't read Jewish in the Bible one time, but you do read Jew. So then there's some people that say Jewish. I'm like a Jew. And y'all just give them a pass completely on that shit. Well, I won't, and neither will God. Okay, Amalek, the Philistines, see, the same niggas that's always been hating Israel. Go back in the Philistines with Goliath. See? The Philistines and the inhabitants of Tyre. See? Canaanites. Once again, like I told you guys, Assur also is joined with them. Y'all hear that shit? So all of them, Persians and everybody, Iran, they're all, look, the whole world is guilty of doing this shit to you. You see? They have helped the children of Lot. The children of Lot is Moab and Ammon. See, if you know your history, then you know. 9. What is he going to ask in this song that God does to these people I just mentioned? See? Now, everybody knows who everybody is now. They've all been exposed. You see? You notice how none of those guilty parties, I said Negro? None of the Edom, Ishmaelites, Moab, Hagarenes, Gebal, Ammon, Amalek, Assur, Philistines, Tyre, none of those nations are Negro nations. So you see how you ain't guilty of this? Why? Because you're that nation Israel that's being this done too. You see that? 9. What does he ask? He says, do unto them. So do unto who? Edom, Ishmael, Moab, Hagarenes, Gebal, Ammon, Amalek, Philistines, and Tyre, and Assur. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera at Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor, and they became as shit for the earth. Excuse me. They became as dung for the earth. They came as fertilizer. In other words, is what he's saying there. That's why he says for the earth. They became fertilizer for the earth. So Edom, Ishmael, Moab, Hagarenes, Gebal, Ammon, Amalek, Philistines, Tyre, and Assur. Y'all understand who that is now? Europeans, fake Jewish, Arabs, Hamites, which are fake Africans over there. Those are Hamites. Come on. The Persians, the Arabs, all of them, man. Whoever I missed, I'm sorry. They're going to become fertilizer for the earth according to Psalm 83. All of y'all read it and see if I'm lying. Now, see, take what I am out of it. Let's just take our races out of it and act like we're just people reading it and then come to the conclusion that you come to when you read it. Do you come to the conclusion that I have, which is that the tabernacles of Edom, Ishmael, Moab, Hagarenes, Gebal, Ammon, Amalek, Philistines, Tyre, and Assur will all be as shit when this is all over with? They will be dung on the earth and destroyed for what they did to Israel. Can we all agree that that's what the Bible is saying, though? Even if we take our races out of it, we just agree that that's what the words say? All right, then. See how it ain't about the feelings, no. It ain't about the feelings, no. It's not about feelings. It's just about truth over here, see? What else does he say? He says, make their nobles like Oreb. See, their top guys. Make them jacked up, in other words. And like Zeb. Yeah, all their princes as Zebah and as Zalmunna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession. Do you hear this? So y'all would call this scripture a tattletale because he's telling all y'all business enemies of God. He said, y'all said, let us take to ourselves the houses of God for a possession. Y'all hear that? 13. Oh my God, make them like a wheel as the stubble before the wind. As the stubble before the wind. As the stubble before the wind. Why did I say that 3 times? Because didn't Abba say that he's going to make Esau as stubble and he's going to make the house of Judah and Ephraim a flame and they're going to burn up the house of Esau? Okay, so he's answering this prayer, sounds like to me. 14. As the fire burneth a wood, and as the flame, see, setteth the mountains on fire, so persecute them with thy tempest and make them afraid with your storm, Father. You hear that? Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek your name, O Abba Yah. Let them be confounded and troubled for how long? Forever. Forever. Yeah. Let them be put to shame and perish. Let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that you, whose name alone is Yah, are the most high over all the earth. Whew. Boy, you hear that? So the day of the Lord is when Abba's going to show that he alone is the most high over all the earth, is he not? So who's supposed to be scared on the day of the Lord? Israel? No. So let's erase the lies off that they've put on you, Negroes. You're not Negroes, colored, black, African American, African. You're not any of that shit. You're Israel. And we're going to put their names back on those guys. The only people that have to be running around in fear and afraid of the day of the Lord are those nations that are going to be brought down to the valley of Jehoshaphat that we just read about, like the European people, the Arab people, the Asian people, the African people, the whoever else people that we read about that came against God's people, the Jewish people. All of you are going to be held accountable for your lie. And your lie is as simple as this: I'm white. That is the lie that God hates. Stop calling yourself that, and then maybe he'll forgive the lie. But you got to stop living the lie for him to forgive you, white people, black people, Arab people, Chinese people, Japanese people, Mongolian people. I don't read none of those words in this Bible. But I do read, let God be true and every man a liar. So I don't believe y'all lies anymore. So if you maintain the lie, then God will kill your stupid ass for that. You understand me clearly? You see how look, let's just prove that that's what's happening. If I was living a lie saying black, I was participating in the game with you, wasn't I? Now I don't play the fucking game anymore. I am not black. I am Israel. So now I have shaken off my lie in exchange for the truth. That's why I'm not afraid of God's judgment. You understand me? Are you willing to shake your lie off today? That's the question that you have to answer. If you hear this question, you gotta answer it or your ass will perish. You can't say you ignorant no more. If you didn't know this truth that I'm giving you today, then you had ignorance and you had a cloak for your lie. But now you don't got no cloak. And why? Because the grandson of right thought talking to your ass now. That's why. So, I don't have to be afraid because I don't lie to God. If you're lying, saying that you're something that's not written in this book, then you do got something to worry about, don't you? That's why I told all of you. I'm going to tell you again. If you're not a so-called black person, stop calling them that. Use wisdom today. I'm trying to help you. I know this don't sound like I'm even trying to help you at all, but I truly am. Because I don't have to do this. I don't have to tell you this truth. I'm doing this for the sake of my people. Actually, that's the only reason I'm doing it. I'm doing it for the lost sheep of the house of Israel that have been lost and think they're black, that have been lost and think they're colored, that have been lost and think they're African American, that have been lost and think they're Egyptian. No, my little woolly-headed, little melanated little brother or sister, you are not an Egyptian. Abba Yah has put a difference between the Egyptian and his people. We are Hebrew Israelites. That is who we be. And don't let them try to put it like it's some type of wicked thing, trying to put black in there still. They're still trying to put black. They don't say Hebrew Israelites when they talk about you. They say black Hebrew Israelites. Look at the bullshit they still trying to put. That's why I can't stand your fucking wicked asses, you fucking devils. You're devils. Deceivers is what you are. That is what we just read. Crafty. A deceiver must be crafty, correct? See how I'm a grown-ass man that can sit at the table with you devils and keep it real with y'all and don't gotta fucking run from the table? Talk to me. Tell me how the fuck you feel, because I'm telling you. Look, y'all think this is some type of fucking crazy damn thing. I'm telling you. Listen, if all the nations were to sit down at the table with the Father who created them and take their true names back on, then would we be calling ourselves white, black, and things of that nature? Would we be? Okay then, simple as that. Silawam Israel.